Hi everyone, I'm Luis Leiva, and I'm here to share my thoughts and life experiences so I can help you on your journey. This is the Luis Leiva Podcast. Today we have some fire for you guys. We're going to talk about how to stop blaming other people for your successes or for your failures. Well, obviously you wouldn't be blaming and giving credit to other people for either one. So why am I talking about this and why is this important for people to understand is because we got to get out of that victim mentality, because as long as we're living within that victim mentality, we are never going to grow. We're going to stay stuck and we're going to look for scapegoats. We're going to look for reasons why we haven't done what we want to accomplish, and we're going to stay put. We're going to stay right there. A long time ago, I used to think to myself that I was a victim of a lot of circumstances that were out of my control. But I only started to progress in my life once I took control of everything that was going on around me, and I stopped blaming the economy, stopped blaming people, I stopped blaming bad partners or other people in my life that didn't do what I needed them to do for me to succeed. What I came to find out is that no matter what anyone else does and no matter what anyone else says, my success is 100% dictated on what I do and what I think. So how can we apply this to our personal lives? How can we wake up in the morning and get into that mindset and get into that frame of mind that's going to help us accomplish everything that we have planned out for ourselves? So let me give you an example. My goal is to have a global organization. Let's start with nationwide for now, right? We're in New Jersey. We're based out of this area in Scotch Plains. We're growing really rapidly. We're getting into North Jersey, hopefully South Jersey pretty soon. Next will be New York and then Florida. So this is a big accomplishment for me. But if I start to look at things that are stopping me or getting in my way and I start hanging my hat on that, I'm going to get complacent. I'm going to start thinking that it's okay for me to just stay put where I am. And, this is big enough for me. And this growth is already too much to handle. If I start blaming circumstances such as the economy or such as maybe other people who are more, they're more successful than me in those areas and it would be too much competition, or maybe it's just I have a lack of resources or lack of help within my organization. If I start hanging my hat on that and blaming those people and circumstances for me staying put, then I'm going to be selling myself on that idea and I'm going to stay right where I am. What I need to do and what I suggest that everyone listening to this podcast do is wipe clean anything that is stopping you from moving on to that next level. Take down a list of the things that you feel are getting in your way of your growth. And if any one of those things has something to do with another person or an outside influence, then you need to start figuring out ways to get that out of your head. There is no room there for someone else because we do not control other people. We do not control other circumstances. We only control what you and I do on a daily basis. So let's start with that. Now, I'm going to tell myself there's nothing that's going to get in my way. There's going to be days in which I'm sitting with people and they're going to start giving me their negativity and they're going to start telling me why I shouldn't this and why I shouldn't that. And I'm going to start believing their negativity if I surround myself with that. But I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start to pinpoint things that are getting in my way. So if somebody sits with me and tells me that I can't do something, automatically my mind is going to go to, hey, this person is a speed bump. This person is trying to get in my way. If you can identify them, then you won't get caught up in them. But if you fail to identify them and you start to absorb that into your mentality, then you're going to start to believe those things subconsciously. What you want to do is you want to surround yourself with people who are big thinkers, people who are pushing the envelope further than you've ever thought. You need to make sure that your circle is stronger than you. If you're the biggest fish in your pond, you need to find a bigger pond. You need to go somewhere else where people are doing things that you haven't even imagined yet. Most recently, I sat with a gentleman who has a Ferrari F40, it's an insane Ferrari. I forget the exact model that he has, but insane car, $400,000 car. And he was sitting with me and telling me how he goes out on these tours with his friends who drive Bugattis and Lamborghinis and all types of crazy cars. And I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I need to get in your circle because I'd be the brokest one. So what that would do for me is it would help me push myself to catch up to the level that they're already on. And not that materialism should be the only thing that's pushing you, but I guarantee you that these guys that are pushing these cars are doing more for charity, because that's the kind of events they do, and they're doing more for their families and humanity than I would be if I stayed exactly where I am right now. You need to do the same thing. You need to find people who are doing big things and crushing it on a major scale. Figure out a way where you can add value to those people so you can start progressing in your life as well. I sat with someone yesterday who told me a reason, or a mirage of reasons. They gave me a whole bunch of reasons why they're not succeeding. And every one of those reasons why they're not succeeding was not themselves. It was other circumstances. It was where they worked, the name of their company, this and that, all the other things that had an influence. They could be an influence. They could be the reason. But the funny thing is there's so many people with the same circumstances as this individual who have flourished, who have progressed beyond their own wildest dreams. But it all started with their belief system. I told this gentleman that I sat with yesterday that if he believes he's going to do bad with the cards he's dealt, he's absolutely going to do bad. But if he believes he's going to do great with it, then he needs to figure out a way to use that as his leverage and not as his Achilles heel. He needs to figure out a way where he can basically dictate his future by his belief system. I have agents who came to my office with no type of success, no clients, no pipeline, everything you could think of in the red, and they're buying homes cash now. These guys are providing vacations for their entire families. They're creating lifestyles that they've never would have thought a couple years ago. And that's all possible if you believe in what you're doing. But if you let negativity get in your way, negativity will spread rapid. It's like a wildfire. Once you get some negativity in your head, it's hard to shake it. Because even if you tell yourself, stop thinking that, your subconscious is already sold on it. You've sold yourself on that without even knowing. You need to be around the people who are not scared, the people who don't live in fear, people who aren't just paycheck to paycheck, because those people aren't paycheck to paycheck because of a bad circumstance, most likely. It's because their whole life has led up to that. You can't blame somebody for being born poor, but you can certainly blame somebody for dying that way. We're all given the same amount of hours in a day. We're all given same opportunities in this country that we live in. And it seems to me like a lot of people who are given more opportunities sometimes don't appreciate it. I don't know if the underdog mentality applies to you, but there's a great motivational speaker, I guess I'll call him. He's a business guru, entrepreneur. His name is Dean Graziosi. He recently wrote a book called The Underdog Mentality, or The Underdog Advantage. And he talks in that book about how your weaknesses and the things that you bring to the table that you think are going to be your downfall can actually be your biggest gift. And I certainly believe that, because I came to this country, I didn't speak the language when I was 4 years old. My mother would tell me little words to say, just to even go down to the corner store and be able to buy water. I wasn't able to communicate with my classmates, in kindergarten. Those things I remember to this day. I didn't have the ability to go to college because at the age of 18, 19 years old, I still was not documented in this country. So there was a lot of disadvantages that I had. But guess what? I took all those disadvantages that I was dealt, and I did the best I could with them. I created my own business since I couldn't go to college. And guess what? I learned so much from opening that business and closing that business, things I probably could not have learned in college with an MBA. I've learned so much through my life because of my disadvantages, that I always now have this mentality that I have to be the best, because I don't have all the things that I need in life to succeed. I was not given a silver platter. I wasn't born with a trust fund. I have to work harder than anyone else in order to accomplish my goals. I'm a very competitive person, but I don't let my competitive nature get in the way of putting other people and putting people in my circle also on the same trajectory as me. I'm very competitive, but I like to see all of my friends and my colleagues win with me. That's actually what you're going to have to learn to do once you do get on that right path, because the ultimate level of success is making other people successful. So never forget that. You can have anything you want in life as long as you can provide the same for other people. And that's something that I've to this day have lived by. And I actually become much more happy when I see other people in my circle, other people in my camp, when they win, when they close more deals than I ever did, when they grow at a much faster rate than I ever did. And the only thing that I ask for in return is obviously for that person to do it for others. We have to start the change that we want to see within our industry, within our world. And as long as we can remember that, guys, it's not a single person who has to be the winner. We all can be winners. But it starts with not blaming other people. It starts with taking responsibility for your own actions. It starts with looking deep inside of you to see what is wrong with you, not what is wrong with the world, not what's wrong with the people in your office, not what's wrong with everything else but you. We can all come up with a long list of 100 things that are stopping you from growing. We can come up with a reason every day of the week why we didn't go to the gym. We can come up with a reason why we're eating like crap. We can also think, the reason I got passed up for that raise is because, the boss, this other employee is always sucking up to them and I'm not that kind of person. No, the reason you got passed up is because your attitude probably stinks and you're probably not doing enough to add value. When you add value, someone, if it's not your boss, someone within your organization is going to take notice and it's going to get to the boss. It's going to, that word is going to travel fast. But most people just have an entitlement mentality where they feel like they deserve everything. And, that's the problem with a lot of younger people nowadays is they feel so entitled to just have things given to them. And I feel that what we all need sometimes is some humility, and we need to understand that we need to earn all the entitlements we get. We need to work hard for it, and then we'll be in a much better place. Thank you guys for tuning into our podcast. This has been episode number 5. We'll check you next time. See you, folks. Have a great day.